don't tell you is that there's a question 1 and then a 1A, B, C.
I hate that.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I hate those.
Beware. Hello, everyone, and welcome to this week's Youth Talk. Woo! Yes! We are part of the Mayor's Youth Council. Now to introduce ourselves, my name's Gabby.
My name is Kimberly.
I'm Kiara.
My name is Daniela.
Hi, my name is Nidhi.
I'm Amy.
Hi, I'm Sophia.
And my name is Gabby.
And today we'll be talking to you about how to become that A+ student you guys always wanted to be. This school year, we're making no mistakes. We learn from them and we move higher. We're gonna get better, not bitter, and we're gonna be that student we always wanted to be and never settle for
Yes.
anything. A+, and it only goes up from here. This is a new year, a fresh new start, and we have a bunch of new concepts to share with you guys. Now, speaking from experience, I graduated high school. This is my first year of college, and I cannot stress this enough, people. I can't stress it enough. These topics are going to make or break you, and they take on a whole new significance, 10 times greater in college. And yes, I'm tired, but these habits make life so much easier. So please, when I say this, take them notes. To start off, we're just gonna talk about the meaning of life and how to perceive it and how to make this approach the best, most effective it can be for this school year. To start it off, Kim got some things to say. Let's go, Kim.
Yes, it is super overwhelming to be a student, especially now with the situation. It's crazy, virtual learning and everything. So it's super easy to get overwhelmed. It's super important to have that balance. You know, you have to feel balanced in life. You have to feel a little bit less stressed. And that's what we're going to talk about. So I'm going to mention some things, but we're going to get into the nitty gritty later on. So do not worry. So the best thing to do to feel less stressed and to feel more harmonious and peaceful is being productive. Now, I know that isn't that fun, but it's super, super important. So one of the things you can do is planning ahead. Now, I'm not going to necessarily talk about to-do lists and everything, but more about expect the unexpected, you know, arrive early just in case, you know, something happens so you're not late. And also keeping track of things. So yes, you know, make sure you have your appointments, you know them, you're aware of them, those exams and everything. And another thing that can really help you out is being self-disciplined. Now, self-discipline is really hard. I know, trust me. But it's super important, you know, to get things done and to be on top of it. You're going to feel less stress. I'm really, really serious. Trust me. It's hard, but you can do it, and it's going to make your life 10 times better. I promise. And then also prioritizing, which we will talk about later on because it's super, super important. You know, I really struggle with prioritizing personally. I always put so much on my plate. Like, I remember last year, I was trying to do schoolwork, and then I had other activities. It was too much. I had like family complications, and it was too much. I literally was a zombie every single day. I felt like, oh, I'm just going through the motions right now. You know, it felt not, it was so not fun. So it's really important to know what you should focus on. Don't put too much on your plate, and make sure that you have friends that can encourage you and motivate you and believe in you so that you can believe in yourself.
Yes, I agree 100%.
Yeah, and going with what she said about like overwhelming yourself, like with a bunch of activities, time management is a really big deal, especially as we start school, and a lot of us are in different activities, like Kimberly said. And me being a student athlete, I think time management is extremely important, especially if you want to succeed in both school and your athletics. And for me personally, what helps me do that is keeping a set schedule of events and meets or games. as well as assignments and everything, and see how all of it works in my schedule, and contacting the people I need to talk to in order for it to work out and not overwhelm myself later. And with that, and working with your mental health, physical health is just as important, especially as an athlete like myself. And some things that are really important to me are making sure I get enough sleep, even though it's kind of hard with like school. But using as much time as I can, like with being productive during the day, so that during the night I have that time to myself to sleep. And also eating and hydrating as much as I could, because our bodies need all those things. And even though we might not find the time or see the need for it at some points, it's definitely necessary. And like you'll see that if you don't have those things, you're not going to perform as well as you want to. And I also believe in putting effort into your physical appearance, making yourself look good. Because when, even if it's like the smallest thing, putting putting effort into your looks makes you feel good. And when you feel good, you end up doing good in whatever it may be, school, athletics, clubs, or whatever other activities you're doing. So yeah, that's what I have to say about time management as a student athlete.
Yeah. And we cannot, again, like Kimberly and Kiara said, it's so important to stay on top of your grades. And it will be hard. And one of the reasons why it is hard is because we procrastinate, you know? We're all victims of procrastination. We all procrastinate at least one point in our lives. And it's super common. There was a study where American adults were surveyed. 20% of them said they were chronic procrastinators. So don't feel bad that you procrastinate. Just find ways to not procrastinate. So one of the causes of procrastination is we underestimate how much time it'll take to finish an assignment. Sometimes we say, "Oh, it's a survey." Let's say we have a survey for homework. It's a survey. I'll get it done in 15 minutes. But then you later find out it's 100 questions long. What you gonna do now? Yeah. So
Yep.
look on
Can
it.
I just say the relevance to that? Yesterday, I had an accounting class. The homework said 20 questions. Okay, maybe an hour or two, right? Guys, yesterday, I spent 7 straight hours on that assignment.
Oh my
Seven.
gosh.
That's
Seven.
crazy.
7. Not 4, not 5, not 6, 7. 7. 20 questions, because what
Big chunk
teachers
of
don't
day.
tell you is that there's a question 1 and then a 1A, B, C.
Oh, I hate that.
Oh my gosh.
I hate those.
Feel the pain.
Beware. Not
Yeah.
everyone, not everything is what it seems. Okay,
Right.
Wizards of Waverly Place people. There's lessons to
Exactly.
everything. Use those lessons and build upon them. Okay, that's all I wanted to say, because it will kill
So to prevent what
you.
happened to Gabby from happening to you, we gotta kill that procrastination monster. And one of the main ways that has helped me deal with my procrastinating habits, is I set up a routine and I kind of create this energy for myself every morning. So I wake up and I try my best to be happy. I try my best to be motivated. I set up a routine. The more repetitive something is, the more you get used to it. I wake up, I eat my breakfast. You already know I make my yogurt bowl with, some almond, and then I read something that I have to do. So for my assignments, I have to read chapters from a book. I wake up and I read the chapters. That way I'm never behind. And I just create a routine like that. I promise you it will help, and it'll be difficult at first. You might forget, but it really will help to create a routine. That's just one of the ways you can stop procrastinating. It's one of the major ways that has helped a lot of us. So, yeah, procrastination, we gotta kill that, and that's just one of the ways that can help you.
Yes.
I totally agree, and procrastination also comes up with prioritizing your work. But how do one prioritize? Like, what's the right way to do it? So I'm gonna give you guys some tips to prioritize your work. So the first thing you guys could do is make a list of your tasks, from urgent to important to less of the care. So the urgent is the one that is like due in like, like an hour or 2 hours, or like, don't do that. Don't start your work in just an hour. But always have a list of one important, one urgent, which is really, really urgent. Number two, important, which is not that urgent, but it's still important. and the last could be like your clubs or your activities that you guys do. So that way you know like what's due at what time. And also another tip is to know how much value that thing means to you. So if something that is in your urgent list, which is like the most important, like most important, like it is like an essay, which is like a big grade, like 70% of your grade, you should always have that in your first list. So after, when you guys do your work, it's in your list, so that motivates you to do that work. And then based on that, you guys have to like check it. So if you do the work, always like check off your work, so that also motivates you that, oh, I have this stuff done and I have this much stuff left to do. Let me just take a break and then start again, because like if you don't take breaks, you're gonna break off. So always take
Mm-hmm.
breaks and just know like when to stop too. And the last tip is know when to cut. If you're gonna hand in 5 perfect things, that's gonna give you 100% in the class. Do that instead of turning in 50 different things, which only it, like, which is not that great, because quality is always better than quantity. And the more better you have in your study material or whatever you turn it in, the teacher should see that, oh, you will put your effort into it, not just like you have wrote like 10 pages but that doesn't have any content. So that's the biggest thing on prioritizing, because like knowing what you know is right is, shows the teacher that you put an effort into it.
I
And also
definitely
the
like
last
what you
tip is to take
said.
a breather. Yeah. And the last tip is to take a breather and always go with your flow. Don't ask your friends, oh, did you do this? Did you do that? Because that is going to distract you. Never ever depend yourself on anyone and be like, oh, he's gonna text me. They're gonna just give me my answers. Never ever do that. Always, self-reliance is everything, and that's what makes like prioritizing more fun, because that's the way you learn, because in real world no one is gonna help you out. So yeah, that's just some of the tips you could do. And the last tip is to always take breaks. I mean, I've said that, but taking break is so important, because your brain cannot just focus in one thing for like 20 hours. Instead, do something in like small amount of time, and then drink water, go outside, and then do the same thing later on again. Yeah, that's
Definitely.
just.
I definitely like what you said, Needy, about the quality over quantity and listening to your body, because people think the more work that they do, the more successful and better that they are in school. But if you're just
Yeah.
doing like nonsense assignments that aren't really helping you learn, then what's the point of going to school? A lot of
Right.
people don't like going to school because they don't see the significance to it. They just feel like they have to go because they have to. Okay, you need to go to school to learn the things you need to make something out of yourself. Nobody's nobody cares if you go to school or you don't go to school, because at the end of the day,
Yeah.
we're all going to go to our ideas of success and achieve that, right? But when it
Mm-hmm.
comes to prioritizing and doing work, you're not going to spend the whole night of doing work, wake up an hour later and go to school, and then just be a zombie the whole day, right? You're not going to get that quality work that you're capable of doing. There's no point into just dragging out and doing this much of accomplishments, when with working with your energy, it could be 2 hours, but those 2 hours can be better than the 10 hours you forced
You.
yourself to do work
Mm-hmm.
that doesn't mean anything, and the teachers
Yeah.
aren't even going to appreciate, because they can know in your work whether you were trying or you were just trying to get through it to get the grade in. And it'll really be appreciated by you and the teacher one day or another, that by doing that work you're really helping yourself out. By doing the work, you're going to get the grade, you're going to do what somebody else told you, but you're really doing it for yourself. What's the point of doing any of the homework if you're not going to get anything out of it? In college, you're giving thousands of dollars to these classes. I'm gonna get something out of this. I don't want to take the easy way out and take answers out of it. I'm not gonna give my boss like some answers that I found on freaking Quizlet and he's gonna give me a raise.
Yup.
That's not how it works in real life,
Exactly.
right? It
Right.
comes
Yup,
from here
yup.
and to work smarter, not harder. So with that being said, let me move on to the other topic. Yeah, I definitely appreciate what you said, Nini, because that's so important.
Yeah, and you know what? I feel like when you don't prioritize, you are extremely stressed out. Like point
Definitely
blank period,
overwhelmed.
you are stressing yourself out. And
Definitely.
yeah, and you know, there are researches that doctors have done and other people have done where teenagers are simply too stressed out at a super young age, and it is not healthy at all. So, to help manage your stress, this is where I come in. You have to communicate. Point blank period. You have to have good communication skills. And if you don't, you are going to develop them. And this is how you're going to do it. Talk to your teacher. And then this is just academically. You have to communicate with your teachers. If you don't, they're not going to know what's going on. And you know, like, you have to realize teachers are humans too. They go home, they have children, they have a family, they may have pets. You know, there's just different things that people have. They're not robots. They understand, they have feelings. So communicate with them, let them know, hey, I have all this going on and I kind of need extra time to do this assignment. And trust me, they're going to give it to you. I've been there. I've needed tons of extensions and all my teachers have given it to me. So please, 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 you are at the age now where you can take responsibility and you can communicate. You can advocate for yourself. You can ask teachers, counselors for the resources that you need to help you lower your stress. Because trust me, in the end, when you're an adult, it is not going to help you at all. You are going to be way too stressed and it is going to be very, very unhealthy and it will eventually lead to mental health problems, physical problems. So trust me, take the responsibility and you advocate for you.
I'm really
That is
glad that
amazing.
Amy,
I really like that.
that's amazing. I'm glad you spoke about responsibility. And I wanted to hit you guys with some hard facts. So, from the article, Attributions of Responsibility and Blame for Procrastination, they found that 80 to 95% of people who procrastinate come from educational environments. So, like school, people procrastinate the most at school. And
Yeah.
procrastination leads to this overwhelming feeling of guilt and just this terrible and ucky feeling in your stomach. I don't know if you guys have felt it before, but I
Yes.
definitely
Yeah,
have.
yeah.
Yes.
My
Way
gosh.
too many times.
Literally.
It's this nervous feeling. You're just like, oh, I have this project due, but I really don't want to do it. And you keep putting it off and you put it off and you tell yourself, oh, I'm going to do it in a couple hours. I have this super long deadline. It's fine. But you keep building that pressure for yourself. Why not take responsibility? Step up to the plate and do it. Take this assignment, take this pressure off your shoulders, and complete this assignment. I know personally, I've taken on too many assignments at once, and it resulted in my burnout. And it was horrible. I had projects, I had assignments, I had tests to study for, I had club meetings, I had sports to attend to. And really, I just needed to take responsibility and stop putting things off because of a extended deadline. And one way that I wanted to tell you guys to take responsibility, a method that I want to show you guys. I want everybody at home to do this with me. So it's a positive affirmation, and positive affirmations are so healthy for you. It confirms your being, it confirms your healthy mindset. So I want everybody to say this with me.
Ready?
I am capable.
I am capable.
I am capable.
Capable. I can do this assignment right now.
I can do
I
this
can do this
assignment
assignment
right now.
I am amazing.
I am
I am
amazing.
I am intelligent.
I'm
I
intelligent.
am
Intelligent. And say this. Maybe say this a couple times throughout the day, or maybe just say this in the morning.
I feel better
And
already.
Whenever
right.
So whenever you're feeling stressed, just tell yourself this. Tell yourself you're gonna take responsibility, and tell yourself you have the ability to take responsibility. because in the end, when you take responsibility, you're not only helping your grades, you're not only helping your future, but you're also bringing up your self-confidence, because self-confidence and responsibility go directly hand in hand. When you're completing projects on time and when you're getting that reward system, the dopamine in your brain and the reward system and the serotonin, it just boosts up and you're much happier and you're so much more confident. And I wanted to hit you guys with another hard fact. So 85% of students suffer from low self-esteem. And don't you guys notice how that 85% is so similar to that 95% of students who procrastinate? Now, these percentages may go beyond you and they may be against your odds. But I want you to know that if you improve your self esteem and if you become somebody who stops this cycle of procrastination, you can become the percentage that succeeds and you could become the percentage with a bright future. So end the
Yes.
cycle of
Amen.
procrastination.
Yes, we're
definitely
breaking
agree
the
with
cycle this school year. I am all for it. We're going against the odds and doing what we got to do to make something of ourselves. That should be your motivator. That's all
Yeah.
of our motivators.
Right.
Motivation is, take it away, Gabby. Take it away.
I love it. What's it called? So tying into that, breaking the cycle, you definitely need motivation for that. And the key factor into motivation, you have to be able to vision like what you're aiming for. You have to be able to ask yourself what the ultimate goal is. Like without a vision, you can't push yourself to be better and complete the task that's at hand. And like setting goals for yourself is really important. Like you can do it in a planner, like however you want, like a vision board. It's a very good motivator. And in the planner, it could be a day from now, a week, a month, or like 10 years. But like you have to be able to see yourself in that position. Like, oh, I want to be a doctor. I have to be able to see myself in that white lab coat. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
so then going on with that, you have to remember that when you want to motivate yourself, you can't put too much pressure on yourself. You have to be like you have to think about it before you actually do it. Like, all right, I
One
want to
step
become
at
a
a
doctor in
time.
3 years. Like you have to be able to set realistic goals because motivation and pressure do not mix well. You're gonna end up burning yourself out. You're gonna end up like having these high expectations that you're not gonna be able to meet. And it's just gonna frustrate you a lot more than it should. And so then like don't overwhelm yourself because it's easy to lose sight of like the ultimate goal when your like self-esteem is down, like Sophia said. Like it has like it's key, like with procrastination, it just all ties in. So you have to be able to like keep that big picture in mind, like, and you could find that through friends, through family, you know, like have a good circle, because like you want to be able to tell your plans to somebody and have them be like, oh yeah, you can do this, you can do that, you know, push yourself more towards the ultimate goal, instead of like having friends, you know, that can be like, oh, but you can do this instead, you know, like, oh, that was good, but you could have done better, you know, like backhanded compliments, like that's not good for you. It's not good to be like surrounded by that energy, because then you can't motivate yourself and you can't bring that motivation onto others. You have to be able to use the motivation people give you to create, you know, like a safe environment for everybody around you, like reciprocate the energy that you're receiving. And like that goes back, like, and the hardest part about motivation is like starting, you know what I'm saying? Like, oh,
Yeah.
I'm like this deep
Where do
pit
you
of, you
start?
know, work and, you know, like procrastination, like how do I start motivating myself? So it goes back to the beginning, like what's your drive, what's your goal, what's your ambition? You have to be able to use that to like push yourself to like do better in the future and everything. And yeah, that's pretty much what I
Exactly.
want to say. Like,
Oh my
create the
At
right
the
environment.
beginning of this, you have to look at the whole picture. At the end of the day, we're working to live a life that we don't regret. Okay? We're only young for a certain amount of time and we can only make so much out of it. So when it comes to this, take it with a grain of salt and make it to what you want it to be. You're only young ones, okay? I remember I was really down.
Yes.
I'm studying for business and I was so sad one time. I went to Express and they have a pretty cute business clothes, right? So I put a business suit on. I went out the picture and I pretended like I was the CEO of Express.
Seeing yourself in that
You
position,
have
that's
to put yourself in
motivation
that
right there.
position. And
Right.
for those 5 minutes, I was the CEO. Nobody could talk to me. I had all the game.
Right.
Don't talk to me.
So, and all in all, with all this advice, you have to have fun with it and just keep trying.
Yeah.
Keep
Definitely.
trying, and you're
Yeah.
gonna get
Yeah.
somewhere.
Also,
I-
the big thing,
Even if you're at the
always have
lowest
fun with
point.
whatever you do. Because
Yeah.
if you don't like the
Definitely.
thing you do, you're not gonna go forward. Like
Exactly.
just do what you love. Never
It's gonna
Exactly.
feel
never tell
more of
your
a burden
parents.
than an accomplishment.
Right.
Yep.
Coming
Never
from
Never
do
like
what
say.
your parents want.
Yeah, because especially with the arts, if you want to major in the arts, don't let anybody stop you. Because I know
Like,
people will tell
I'm
you
like,
that you won't get money because you want to do theater, you want to do art, you want to be a writer. Don't listen to them. Don't be discouraged. You can do it. So
That's
set
true.
your goals, like Gabby said. Use all of these things. Get your planner ready. Set your dates. Wake up every day feeling motivated. Try your hardest. As long as you try, that's good enough. Okay, it's good enough for that day. You're going
yeah.
to make it. Do what you want. Do what
Even
you
if you're like in like a really dark pit, like I can't do this anymore, like the smallest task can feel like an accomplishment, and that pushes you to continue to do more tasks and more bigger things, like pushing yourself, like at your own pace, but you know what your accomplishments are and you know what the ultimate picture is.
And with
Yeah.
that being said, guys, I know it's a lot to take in, but remember, we all got this. You got this school year, and as long as you keep trying, you're gonna get there. I am so happy that we made it to the end, guys. Yes, another successful podcast. Woo, give it up,
Yay.
up.
that's
Yes,
with all girls.
yes.
That.
Empowerment, as we discussed in our last self-talk.
Yeah.
Self-talk, okay. So, for another great, wonderful podcast, stay tuned for future podcasts. Thank you, guys. Bye.
Bye.
Thank
Bye.
you.